Let's make 3 easy cocktails for the weekend with minimal effort and maximum flavor. Now the way we're going to do that with the first 2 cocktails is by splitting the base ingredient. So in this case, as you can see, it's tequila and mezcal. And then last one, we'll do a stir down, a variation on a Negroni, made in the glass. Can't get any simpler. Let's get started on the first cocktail, which is a variation on the Cameron's Kick. So the Cameron's Kick contains Irish whiskey, Scotch whiskey, orgeat, and lemon juice. Now, this is essentially the agave version of it, and it's called the CHARO'S Kick, which calls for blanco tequila and mezcal. This was created by Anthony Schmidt from Noble Experiment. Let's start with 1.5 ounces, 45 ml of blanco tequila. At the end of last year, Del Maguey hosted me in Oaxaca in Mexico, and I had an absolute blast. And I've got this newfound respect for mezcals in general, but especially for Del Maguey. I went over there and met the distiller, the mezcalero of this particular mezcal, which is really cool. Faustino, his name is. 1/2 ounce, 15 ml of mezcal. Del Maguey Chichicapa. 3/4 ounce, 22.5 ml of fresh lemon juice. So we're bringing the 2 agave spirits together to make a more complex drink. We're gonna have the kind of white pepper and cooked agave notes from the tequila, and then we'll get that roasty character from the Chichicapa and more of that tropical fruit. Then that's paired with orgeat. I'm using Liber & Co.'s orgeat, and I actually wrote a newsletter today talking about syrups and syrup shelf life. I think everyone should change from 1-to-1 syrups to 2-to-1 syrups. So instead of using a simple syrup, use a rich syrup, which just has a higher concentration of syrup. If you make a simple syrup, it's going to last in the fridge for 2-3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks, before it goes moldy, before you get little floaty bits in it. Now, if you make a rich syrup, you sterilize your bottle, you potentially can get 3 to 6 months worth of shelf life out of that. And if you purchase something like Liber & Co.'s orgeat syrup, then it's going to last up to 12 months in the fridge. So if you're worried about shelf life, this is a huge reason to grab a commercial syrup like Liber & Co. 1/2 ounce, 15 ml of orgeat. Orgeat is an almond syrup. It's made with roasted almonds and it's got orange blossom water. So it's got that little floral note, floral and nutty. I only recently discovered the Cameron's Kick and I'm a big fan of it. I'm really enjoying this combination of using orgeat in a sour, such as the Army and Navy. Such a good drink. This combination, especially with the agave spirits, the orgeat works surprisingly well with tequila, that nuttiness and the cooked agave. It's really bright, citrusy. You've got those expressed oils over the top. This is a fantastic drink, easy to make. 4 ingredients, shake it up, and you're done. Let's do number 2. So the next cocktail is a Harvest Sour by Sam Ross from his time at Attaboy in 2017. It's using the specs of a traditional sour, being 60 ml, 2 ounces of spirit, 3/4 ounce, 22.5 ml of lemon juice, and 3/4 ounce, 22.5 ml of simple syrup. So those exact same ratios, the only difference is instead of just doing a straight up whiskey or whatever base spirit you'd like to do, it's split over the 2 base spirits. So we're using a rye whiskey. This one here is Gospel Rye. It's a Solera rye made from 100% unmalted rye. And it has baking spices and toffee and so forth. Sits at 42.5%. And then we have Laird's Straight Apple Brandy as the second spirit that's splitting the base. This one as well, you kind of get some of those tannic notes from the apples, and then baking spice such as cinnamon and nutmeg. So you're going to combine those 2 spirits to get the best of both worlds and create a more complex cocktail rather than just using whiskey and making a whiskey sour. We're finishing it with Angostura bitters over the top as well, which is going to just enhance those baking spice notes. Start with 1 ounce 30 ml of rye whiskey, then 1 ounce 30 ml of a bonded apple brandy, 3/4 ounce 22.5 ml of fresh lemon juice, and 3/4 ounce 22.5 ml of simple syrup. Okay, that was a little bit of a lie. I realized halfway through pouring that was actually my rich syrup. So I didn't do 3/4 ounce, I did 1/2 ounce, 15 ml. So keep in mind that when you're using a rich syrup, it's 34% sweeter than a simple syrup. A lot of people get confused and think it's 50% sweeter, but it's not. So instead of using 1 ounce 30 ml of simple syrup, you only need to use 2/3 of an ounce 20 ml of root syrup. I'll leave a table of conversions so you can check it out in the description below. Then egg whites. And yes, I know, I probably should do the egg first, but I always do it last. Give it a quick dry shake to emulsify the egg. That almost came apart. Oh, it did come apart. So velvety and textural, beautifully balanced, clean, highlights the two components. Like I said, that somewhat tannic kind of apple brandy, baking spices. Okay, so this next one is the Cynarita by Michael Madrusan. By Michael Madrusan. He is the former owner of the Everleigh, which closed down a year, 2 years ago, which is a really well-known Melbourne cocktail bar, like an institutional cocktail bar. And he now runs other bars. He's opened other places since then. He's part of like the Milk and Honey family. Sasha Petrosky was like his mentor, I believe. And he's also the author of the Madrusan Cocktail Companion, which is this insanely thick book here. There's an absolute ton of cocktails. It's an excellent book, and it's actually where all three of these cocktails have come from today. So it's a great source of inspiration. There's thousands? I don't know. There's a lot of freaking cocktails in there, but this is probably more aimed at a professional bartender, and it's a fantastic book. So if you're really into your cocktails, check it out. The Madrusan's Cocktail Companion. This cocktail was by Michael Madrusan when he was at the Everleigh, or when he owned the Everleigh, back from 2011. So it's a tequila-based Negroni. So I'm using 1.5 ounce, 45 ml. And this is easy weekend cocktails. So he calls for it to be made in the glass. Historically, or traditionally, Negronis were a cafe-style drink that would get made directly in the glass, real quick stir, and you're good to go. So we've taken out the gin base of a classic Negroni and replaced it with a blanco tequila. And then 1/2 ounce, 15 ml of Campari. So I very recently made a Negroni with Cynar, and I absolutely loved it. So when I saw this, I jumped at it. I've run out of the Cynar, the classic version, so I've got the 70 proof, 1/2 ounce, 15 ml of Cynar. Cynar is an artichoke Amaro. Now you could use this as a template. You can substitute that Blanco tequila for another white spirit, or another dark spirit for that matter. The Cynar, you can sub that out as well. If you don't have Cynar, you could use, I don't know, Montenegro, Amaro Nino. I'm just looking at what I've got on the shelf. Gran Classico, Averna, or you could change it into a more of a herbal liqueur, such as Benedictine or something. Like, it's flexible. Use this as a template. If you don't have that ingredient, sub away. A twist of lemon to finish it off. It's pretty woeful piece of lemon, but a bit floppy. Very floppy. Bust out the cheese slicer. It's the lemon. It's not the slicer. It's the lemon. But by using the cheese slicer, it's going to get some more pith, get some more structure to the peel. It's definitely the peel. It's floppy. No one likes a floppy peel. I've got nothing but a bread knife, so I'm not going to shape my floppy peel, unfortunately. Place your floppy peel inside the glass. A lot of people like Negronis. It's also polarizing because of the bitterness, the Campari. But for those who love it, it's super easy to make. And for those who haven't tried expressing lemon oil into your classic Negroni, please do, and let me know how it goes, because it's really good. It's not as bracingly bitter because you don't have like a full ounce of Campari, but it's dark. It's still bitter, of course, but it's more of a dark root-driven bitterness as opposed to citrus bitter-drivenness, if that makes sense. If you haven't tried Cynar in a Negroni, you should. So 2 things before I go. Number 1, I've restarted my weekly newsletter, so I think you should join. I share tips, techniques, cocktail recipes. I'll start to share more behind the scenes kind of snippets and stuff. So if you want to join the other 19,000 odd people that are already subscribed to my newsletter, then jump on the link in the description below. And of course, if you need some orgeat, then please follow that link and grab yourself a bottle. If you're based in the US, Australia, or Europe, the link in the description will take you to the right spot. Enjoy the weekend.